Here's my Assassin's Creed Valhalla review. Valhalla is getting a lot of hate, right? I'm looking online. People are like, how did we get here? Blah. I don't get that. Because Assassin's Creed Valhalla was the first game I played in all of the franchise. Which, go to the video, the intro video, and then explains it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining it. Let's just say I had never planned to play Assassin's Creed at all. But I had it. And I had a friend. I gotta look like a moose or something. I had a friend that just convinced me I should give it a try. I did, and I really liked it. So that set me off on this whole series of reviews. Because I went back and played the first few, right? They were very good. I didn't play the first one, but I played 2, Brotherhood Revelations 3. And as of recording this, I'm over halfway through with Black Flag, which is 4. That's pretty good so far. I don't like Edward Kenny. I don't like Edward Kenway very much. But the game is better than I expected. But I actually started with Valhalla. And I got a little obsessed, actually. I loved male Eivor.
What about a proper goodbye?
I am mad at him. I do think this company has a way of hopping on pop culture themes that are hot, right? So we had Black Flag when everybody was crazy about pirates, which that never really goes away. People seem crazy about pirates all the time. That never wanes. And then the last few years, we've had all these Viking shows, which interesting. So Vikings have gotten kind of hip again. Again, like pirates, they never completely go out of vogue, but sometimes they, get a little revival and people are more interested than before. I don't know. I just am seeing a lot of videos about Valhalla being bad and this isn't Assassin's Creed and blah, blah, blah. There is a case to be made for some issues that I even have with Assassin's Creed Valhalla in light of it being part of a bigger franchise. But I think it's getting a lot of hate unnecessarily. I saw one video was titled something like, why this is a nobody's game. Well, it's obviously my game because I like it. Anyway, having said all that, I also want to tell you that this video is long overdue. I had previously recorded it, but things went wrong with my intended cosplay. You'll notice I didn't even bother this time. Yeah, I had an idea, and I even went out on Pinterest and found some pictures and had some examples, but in practice they didn't turn out right. And instead, this is what I ended up with. And I just want to say right up front, things were supposed to go so different with all of this. I don't know what was happening that day. Bad decisions were definitely happening, though, I can say that much. So let's talk about pros and cons. Y'all know normally I like to start with my cons. So let's start with the cons. Valid criticism. The game is bloated. It is a big game. And unnecessarily so, and after a while it really does get repetitive. One of my complaints in a lot of games is special items you can find being worthless. So by the time I was actually able to go and get some of the armor that was hidden different places, it was kind of worthless to me other than just say I did it, just to say I have all the pieces of that armor or that outfit or whatever. I mean, that was annoying. I worked my butt off to get them, and then I was like, wow, the stats really suck on this armor or outfit, whatever. The stats suck. And I've spent all this time for what? The stats really suck. So that was frustrating. And I kind of felt like that about a lot of the little stuff. So, you know, if you synchronize the map at different places, you can see all the things there are to find: mysteries, armor, treasure, and it's a ton of stuff. And for somebody who likes to, not necessarily 100% games, but I like to clear a map. As much as I've liked this game, I didn't clear the map. I've never cleared the map. I haven't bothered. I'm like, it's just too much. And frankly, a lot of it's not worth having. The mysteries can be kind of fun sometimes, but sometimes they're just depressing. But, you know, I played Witcher 3, and a lot of the side quests and question mark stuff is depressing. So that's not necessarily a reason not to do them. But there was just so many. So many. Another critique of the game has to do with violence. Now, you guys know I will play pretty violent games, and I'll watch pretty violent movies and TV shows. Typically, it doesn't bother me too much, depending on how it's done and what the context is. And in video games, you know, I have been known to kill people in some pretty violent and crazy ways in games. That's part of the fun of playing a video game, right? Is stress relief, because you do goofy stuff. Well, there was a scene in Assassin's Creed Valhalla in which a person is killed using, I think it's called the Bloody Eagle execution style, or the Blood Eagle. It was absolutely horrific. Just horrifying. I can't say that enough.
Emotional damage.
And it was early enough on in the game that I actually almost did not complete the game. I wrote to my friend and I said, I know you recommended this game. I don't know if I can get playing it. That was pretty awful. It was bad. It really disturbed me a lot. Thankfully, after playing it through a couple times, that is the only place I can think of that was that bad, but it was enough that it almost turned me off the entire game. And that should say something. Ugh, that was bad. Another con may be seen as very personal on my part, but it is what it is. I give you my opinion from my perspective. So bear in mind that I'm a Christian. And while I know bad things have been done in the name of Christianity in the past, that's fair. For sure, that has happened. But there was not a balanced representation. Was the church kind of off its rocker at this period of history? In my opinion, yes. This was prior to the Reformation. And some of the things that are happening in this game that are being called out are actually things that sparked the Reformation. And Martin Luther posting his questions on the door of the... If you know your church history, you know what I'm talking about. But yes, some of the things did happen. Some of them were bad. But as per usual, I don't feel like there was a very balanced view. There should have been some kind of counterpoint. The closest I saw was there was a scene near the end of the game. Really, it's kind of like the epilogue, in which a character, supposedly one of the Vikings, accepts Christ and becomes a Christian. And he says he actually feels like real peace and he, loves being a Christian. But then he also is like, but I still pray to Thor or something. And I'm like,
that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
That's not how Christianity works. So I didn't like that. Again, bear in mind, this is coming from my mindset. And that's pretty big because apart from everything else, the most important value I hold is my religious identity, is being a Christian. I'm a sinful, weak creature who doesn't always act like I should as a Christian. But if you forget everything else about me, that is the most important thing to me. So I take that very personally. And actually, to the point that I was conflicted at one point about whether or not to continue to play the game. But I did ultimately decide it is fiction. I just took it with a grain of salt. So, but it was something that bothered me. It was a strong con. And I didn't like that. So there you go. Another issue, as per usual in the Assassin's Creed games so far, I didn't like the modern storyline. So I've missed some stuff in between. Again, I played Valhalla before I played any of the other entries. So initially, I was totally lost. And I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. There were no clear directions. So I just wandered around trying to figure out am I supposed to be talking to somebody? Should I be getting back in the Animus? I didn't even know where the Animus was. I was very, very confused.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
And that was a big stumbling block to me while playing the game, because I wanted to keep moving. And instead I was like, where do I go? What do I do? And it really took away from the overall enjoyment of the game. I also didn't like the stuff that happened in the modern part of the game. And I'm learning that this is a thing in Assassin's Creed as a franchise that I'm not fond of. I just want to play the person's ancestors or whoever they're following. So it is what it is, but I didn't like it very much. I didn't like the way it ended. That's a big reason why I'm not sure if I'm going to play Mirage or not, because of the way Valhalla ended. We know Basim from Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and if you've played the game, and I'm trying not to spoil too much, so I'm being very delicate about what I share. But he's in the game. I didn't like him in this game, and he's the main character of Mirage. And I just don't know how they're going to make that work. Lastly, I could not stand female Eivor.
Today my blade must do the work of Skull's sharp scissors and cut short the cord of Kjotve's fate.
That was awful. Whose idea was that? And I'm shocked. A lot of people and like a lot of marketing really pushed female Eivor. I thought she was horrible. I mean, no offense to the voice actress. I don't know her. She may be a great actress. And I feel certain that she was giving a performance based on direction she was given. But the voice performance was super forced. Like she was trying to sound like this. Like, just talk like a woman. You can be a big, tough BA woman and still just use your regular voice. Why would you need to talk like this? It's almost like they just wanted female Eivor to basically be male Eivor, but with a little bit more feminine face. I'm like, why bother? If you're going to make a character male, like you can choose male or you can choose to play female, then there should be some differences. Now, I'm not getting into any kind of discussion about transgenderism, whatever. That's not what this is about. Either you're going to play as a male or you're going to play as a female. If you play male, it should look like a male. If you're going to play female, it should look like a female. And I didn't like that at all. Also, there were really no differences to playing the game other than a little bit about how they look. Otherwise, there's no real impact to the gameplay, and I didn't like that. Again, if you're going to have me choose one or the other and make it like it's a big deal, then make male Eivor look like a male, female Eivor look like a female, and make it have some impact. There really was no impact. I think where this is done really well was Cyberpunk 2077. I know you guys know I really like that game, and I talk about it a lot. But I feel like they did a really good job. You can choose to be male V or female V. And there are actual consequences to you choosing that. But they also don't have the same cadence, the way they talk. So that was an example of where that's done really well. It was not done well here. If she had looked a little more feminine and used a regular voice, I at least would have found that to be a little more engaging. But her armor wasn't any different. I keep calling it armor. I guess you could just say outfits, whatever. It didn't look any different. They literally were the same. So that was a huge distraction for me. When I played through as male Eivor first, and then went back and played through as female Eivor, and swore I would never do that again. That's how much I disliked playing female Eivor. I'm sure I'm forgetting some cons, but those are the ones that really stand out. So now let me talk about the pros. Things I liked about Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I loved male Eivor. So while I couldn't stand female Eivor, I loved male Eivor. I didn't like that some of the decisions he made, and you weren't really given a lot of choice about some of that. But overall, I really liked him. He was enjoyable to play. I liked the actor's performance.
3 cold weeks in the Whale Road. Past mountains of ice and kingdoms of stone. Saga lands. All this way to kill a man. Gorum Kjotvisson, the son of my father's old foe.
I enjoyed looking at him. Did not make me sad. That's always a factor for me. I'm not gonna lie, you guys know I have a thing about my video game and movie boyfriends. It is what it is. So I enjoyed him. I enjoyed his performance. He was a good character. Another thing I really enjoyed about Assassin's Creed Valhalla was the gameplay. I liked the different weapons. I liked being able to play with an axe or a hammer or a bow and arrow, which you could do even with the others. I liked being able to choose if I want to have a shield or two-handed axe or a one-handed axe. And really, I enjoyed the weapons in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Now, that might not be a particularly popular take, but I did. Frankly, there's just something really satisfying about hitting a bad guy with a hammer. Like, it was just satisfying gameplay. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed riding the horse as part of the gameplay. I'm lumping that in with the gameplay. I was just editing away. I was actually in my pajamas, getting ready to wash off my makeup, if you believe that I sometimes wash off my makeup before bed. So I might have been ready for bed. Okay. And then as I was editing, trying to finish up the editing before I went to bed, I realized that the camera or something happened like mid-sentence. Beep, gone. Just gone. And I went and looked through my files. I'm like, well, maybe I, had a second video I can splice it together. Nope. Just gone. So I have the evil looking video. Things were supposed to go so different. And then I have just nothing. I did want to continue with this. I just want to get this done, you guys. I liked Assassin's Creed Valhalla and I want to share with you my thoughts. So I do want to complete this, and I'm just, rather than re-record everything that I've already edited, I'm just going to add this on. So bear with me. I downloaded some free stuff from Ubisoft, and that included a unicorn with rainbows shooting out of its hooves. So I enjoyed the unicorn. There are also other kind of crazy animals that you can ride. Another thing I liked about Assassin's Creed Valhalla was riding around in the longship. So when you needed to get around places, you could fast travel. But one of the cool things you could do would also be to call your longship, or just get on your longship, take control, and then say follow the river. And automatically somebody would most likely start singing. You could choose to make them stop. You could choose to go to the next song, but that was a lot of fun. I liked the songs. And then at some point you could also have people tell you stories. And so as you add people to your crew through campaigns or objectives, you get new people on your longship and they tell different stories. That was so fun. Like, I really enjoyed that. I don't think I ever really even got tired of it. And I've played through the game going on 3 playthroughs now, because I started again so I could get some footage. Another plus for this game was the music. Music is very important to me, obviously, in video games. One of the things I really liked was a song called Out of the North. And that was early on in the game when you were still in Norway. This song would play as background sometimes. And it would also play when you synchronized in Norway, any synchronization spots. So that was really cool. And it was just a great moment. There were some really great songs like Odin's Ride to Hell, which is in Norse and tells a story about Odin. And it was really fun. I also find it very fun to try to sing along with it, even though I don't know Norse. I try. It's a fun song. All those cons did not outweigh all the pros. It was a fun game to play. I think Valhalla has gotten way too much hate that wasn't fair. Now, that being said, to be fair, I can see why diehard Assassin's Creed fans who've been playing all along maybe aren't huge fans of Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla because they're way different. Where the old games feel more like a video game. You know, you have to be able to parkour. You have to make it through these puzzles. Some of them are timed. You know, it's tough. And when you get through them, you're like, man, I'm proud of myself. I got through that. It was tough, but it was good. It felt like an actual video game. I can see why people were maybe kind of disappointed in the direction that the new Assassin's Creed games have gone. So now, as of recording, Mirage is set to come out in a few months. From the gameplay trailer, it looks like Mirage is going back to some of that old school style with more parkour, more linear storytelling. And the more I see of it, the more inclined I am to actually purchase it and play it, because I think I would kind of like to play another game like that. So maybe they're going to bounce back and forth. I saw somebody commented on my last video, which was a reaction to the Mirage gameplay trailer, that this was going to be like a gift to the old school fans, but they expect to see more RPG open world like Odyssey, Origins, Valhalla. We'll see what happens with Mirage. I'm intrigued, but Valhalla was a good game. And if you haven't played it, I actually would recommend it. If you liked Origins and Odyssey at all, you probably will like Valhalla. But if you liked the original games as well, I think Mirage is probably going to be more along those lines too. So I can appreciate both styles, and I think Valhalla is a game worth playing. So that's my overall. I liked Valhalla. I liked it enough. I'm actually on my third playthrough, although some of that was so I could get game captures for this review. But then I'm probably going to finish it because I did enjoy it that much. So there you have it. I'm interested in your feedback. Please leave me some comments and let me know what you thought. Did you like Valhalla? Are you going to play Mirage? Do you think these games are too much of a departure from the original games, or did you think this was a refreshing change of pace? So let me know in the comments. I'm interested to see what you think. And of course, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe to the channel. That's it for now.